Thank you for joining me once again where it's tragic news for the vegans. Mike the Vegan is dead. Wrong. Again, as usual. I've responded to this video before, but it's such a classic I felt like doing it again. So, Michael.
Hey, it's Mike here, and today, eating more meat equals longer life expectancy. We're going to look at a recent February 2022 study out of Australia making this claim, as well as the subsequent news blast that always occurs. And at least 10 of you emailed me saying, oh, one of my meat-loving relatives sent me this as cannon fodder, which was bolstered by how it's a massive study of 170 countries, and there doesn't appear to be any animal industry funding.
Okay, so animal industry funding. In fact, industry funding, wherever it comes from, Michael, is bad. So that's Michael making the point quite clearly that industry funding, compromise of interests, conflict of interests in science is bad, and we should, therefore, he is implying, ignore every study that has any of that. Okay, good. Tell us all about it.
As you could guess, this immediately resulted in those articles that are essentially meat propaganda.
Yes, propaganda's bad, isn't it, Michael?
But let's get to the basics of the main study, which is this one, again, out of Australia that looked at 170 countries. It was published in the International Journal of General Medicine. Their website, I'm going to say, looks kind of crappy, but that shouldn't matter too much unless you live in the West Pacific.
So the first thing you go to is a typo. So what Michael is also saying is that anyone that ever makes any kind of mistake needs to be ignored completely for all time. Good.
In my last video, I accidentally said a perfect correlation value was 0.1 when I meant to say 1.0.
So you made a mistake once, did you, Michael? Like the people that wrote about the West Pacific.
We're about to hop over to that Australian study again, but a couple more points worth mentioning quickly. No conflict of interest.
Good. Very important that studies do not have a conflict of interest for them to be valid, isn't it, Michael? It's twice you've made that point now.
Or funding from any industries.
Industry funding is bad. We got it. Good, that's 3 times.
In this study either, in looking to the hierarchy of scientific evidence.
Oh, yes, please, let's look at the hierarchy of scientific evidence. This will be hilarious.
This pyramid, you can see that cross-sectional studies much lower on the pyramid in terms of quality of evidence than meta-analysis.
By how much? According to what metric? Because you see, remember, science is litigated empirically. Numbers, measurements of things. So exactly how much better are they? Or is the hierarchy of evidence an educated or expert opinion on what's better than what? Yes, it is. Shall we have a look at the bottom of the hierarchy of evidence here, Michael, and see what it says there? Oh.
And if you remember one thing from the study, it's that there is no direct data connection between how much meat individuals are eating and how long that individual lives.
Right. So your contention that red meat eating is bad for you, Michael, you've just debunked it, haven't you? Oh, God. Hilarious. At least it would be if people weren't taking you seriously for some reason.
What happens when you have a meat immortality study where they actually account for socioeconomic status? And that brings me to this NIH-funded journal.
Funding is bad, isn't it, Michael? Industry funding? NIH is an industry.
The American Medical Association Internal Medicine.
The American Medical Association is industry. It has a barrow to push. I thought we said that funding was bad.
Now let's move to what had me baffled about the Australian study, and that is a lot of times there's a direct line, boom, right there in the funding section to the beef checkoff or something like that.
Right, so once again, for about the 4th time, industry funding, conflict of interest is bad. And we should discount anything that's published by anybody that has any of that going on. It must be an important point if you've said it 4 times, Michael, mustn't it?
But in this case, they claim no conflicts of interest. But
5 times.
I can't help but think of that one British medical journal choline study by Emma Derbyshire that was like, oh, no conflicts of interest. Then it was revised to have some more by like the meat industry, and pretty soon you have a paragraph of the meat industry, the choline industry.
That's a pretty short conflict of interest statement, really. It is one, absolutely. It's not very impressive, though, is it?
Etc. But we can give them the benefit of the doubt and say that funding perhaps wasn't the situation, but was there perhaps personal bias that could have affected things here? And I do believe there was.
Okay, so on the basis of a paragraph like that, Michael is quite happy to decide whether or not that person was conflicted. What he's basically saying is any conflict of interest at all is bad. That's about the 6th time he's mentioned it. So he must be really serious.
Citing a paper and other papers that rely on dairy industry funded.
Funding. There you go. 7th time he's mentioned it. Funding, bad. Ignore everything that's based on any kind of funding, says Michael. Good.
Which low carbers love to attack, but as we know and is echoed by the European Society of Cardiology, I pretty much mentioned
yeah.
in every video, high LDL is causally linked to atherosclerosis.
I see. Now, this consensus panel, the European consensus panel, were they at all conflicted, Michael, by this conflict of interest that you've mentioned 7 times in your video thus far? In how long have we been going in your video? What are we up to? 14 minutes and 36 seconds of your video. So basically once every 2 minutes on average, you've told us that conflict of interest is bad, and you've implied quite clearly that we should dismiss anything published by anybody with any conflict of interest of any kind, haven't you? Let's have a look at the conflict of interest statement from the European Consensus Panel, who claim that LDL-C is causal to atherosclerosis. Shall we? Let's. Right. Okay. Thanks, Michael. Shall we move on now?